What's up, everybody? It is Tackle Talk Tuesday, and we got our buddy back, Little Bradley.
What's up? How are you?
Pretty good, man. How have you been?
Good. Hanging in there.
It's been a minute since you've been on.
It's been like a few months, so yeah.
Yeah. I haven't seen you at the boat ramp yet.
Nope.
No fishing pictures yet.
I sent you one this weekend.
Okay, I got one yesterday. I got one the other day. You're right. But that was the first one. I've been like, dude, what's up with Little Bradley? So what have you been doing?
I've just been like doing sports with school, I guess. We had hockey until like October to February, and then golf season just started. So I've been pretty packed with that.
You're actually on like a golf team too?
Yeah.
Are you like good?
I mean, like compared to like the average person, I'm good, but there's kids on our team that are better than me.
Okay, it's very modest of you.
Yeah. I don't like to tell people like I'm great at golf.
Okay, well,
And then,
I mean,
they're
I
like,
feel
this kid sucks.
I don't even know the proper terms to ask you, like how it even works. Like I don't even know what a birdie is, but
That's
it's pretty
when you,
good,
like-
isn't it?
Yeah, that's like if it's like a par 4, then you make a 3.
I don't even
It's
know.
just-
I don't even know what a par is. So you've
It's
already
just like
lost
what
me.
they score the hole. It's like the shorter the hole, the shorter like the number there is.
Right on. So you got a couple months left in high school,
Yeah, we have exams in like 3 weeks, and then we're done.
right? Are you nervous for the exams? Are you gonna pass them?
Yeah, if I have above a 90 in a class, I don't have to take it. So hopefully, I don't have to take too many.
Okay, right on. There you
Yeah.
go. So college, are you like gonna fish in college?
I don't think so.
No. What do you know what school you're going to yet?
We were down in Florida this weekend, and we were down there to go look at colleges. So we went to USF, which is in like Tampa, and
Okay.
then Flagler, which is in like St. Augustine. So I think it's going to be between those two.
That's pretty tight.
Yeah.
And so you got like colleges down in Florida that actually like, do they have fishing teams at this particular school? But you're focusing on your academics and other sports.
Yeah, so Flagler I know has like a fishing. I think they both have fishing clubs. I don't know like
Okay.
what type of fishing it is. But I know like I have a friend that goes to Flagler, and it's like right on like the bay, and it's like 10 minutes from the beach. So he like tarpon fishes all the time and like snook fishes, and all his like friends fish too. So like,
Right
I
on.
can still fish down there, and there's like a bunch of ponds everywhere. So
I was just making sure there wasn't an echo in the room. That's pretty tight, man. Are you
Yeah.
guys? Somebody told me the other day you guys are actually going down to Florida full time.
I don't think so.
No. Okay,
I mean,
so they were
unless-
wrong.
Yeah, who
All
said
right.
that?
I don't know who it was. I thought somebody said that you guys might be moving down to Florida like full time, and I was like, no way, dude. I was
No.
like, I got a better chance at winning one of the Thursday nighters now.
I'll still show up.
You
No.
come all the way up from Florida just to
Yeah.
put the smack down
I'll let the first tournament of the year. I won't be to that one. I'll
at
let
the
you go.
solstice.
Yeah, I'll let you win.
I appreciate that.
Yeah, got to get your confidence boost up somewhere.
Don't worry, dude. I know what you were gonna go do. I was gonna stab all your fish beforehand.
It's fine. I'll catch them the following week.
So you're not gonna be the solstice. Are you guys planning on attending a lot of the Thursday nighters this year?
Yeah, for the most part. Like
Yeah.
we'll be in. We're in Florida that week, I think, and then I'm in Florida like one more time, and then Outer Banks one time, and I think that's it. So I should be at most of them, hopefully.
So you're gonna show up to the fishing season when it sucks ass.
Yeah,
in
no, it's
July
good.
and August.
I think no, like I actually think I thought about this. I think fishing this summer on the Gunpowder is my most favorite time to fish it.
when it's just top water heaven.
No, I don't fish topwater though.
You have to fish top water.
Not when you're winning a Thursday. Not when you're
How
like
many
3
did you
for
win
5.
last year?
We were like 3 for 5, 3 for 4. In
You
one of the
won
tournaments.
3 tournaments last year.
No, sorry, we were 2 for 4. We were the first 2 we fished. I think we were 2 for 2. We lost like out of the ones I fished. I've lost 2. I think I'm pretty sure. I don't want to sound like cocky. I'm not like saying that in that way.
Nah, dude, bring the heat. That's what I'm talking about. But
Yeah.
I don't know, man. I think fishing the Gunpowder, if you're not in midsummer, if you're not throwing some type of like fast moving top water or something like that. I know what you like to do. That shit works too. But it's time consuming to do what you do when you only have 3 hours. You know
I
what
get a
mean?
lot of bites though. You just gotta you gotta know where they are though. You can't really like the days when we would go out there and we wouldn't have like a fish or two in the boat within like 30 minutes. It's just gonna be a grind.
You're just hoping that your tide read and like your wind direction is going to be what you need it to be, and they're just going to be there.
Yeah, basically.
I mean, basically, when you make the run that you're making, when you get back there, you got to pick a spot and kind of hang with that spot because there is
For the most part, yeah.
yeah.
Like the one night that it was like thunderstorming and like those terrible conditions. Do you remember that?
That
I
was
don't
the
think
really
you
real-
fished that night.
I didn't fish that.
Yeah,
Did you
that-
guys? You guys fish that?
yeah.
I couldn't remember.
We didn't. That was we played. We had like 2 fish for like 4 pounds. I want to say that was just like junk fishing because where we were just didn't work, and it was probably the weather that just threw everything off.
Mm-hmm.
So we had to just go like scrap together anything. So we did. Didn't work, but
That's what it's all about. I feel like that's part of what. I mean, the Thursday nighters are just for fun, no matter what. But I feel like that's part of what gives me a little bit of pressure during the Thursday nighters is 3 hours. That's it.
yeah,
So it's like when I'm in the John boat too, so limited in my speed capabilities to like the areas that I can go to and cover. Some guys might be able to hit like the top of the grass flat or something and then run down towards Dundee or something if they want to.
yeah,
Not me. I got to pick a spot and prey on it no matter where I go.
yeah,
So it's all got to be semi educated.
mm-hmm.
You know what I mean?
yeah. No, yeah, I get that. I think in this I don't really know why, but I feel like in those 3-hour tournaments, like just the fish bite then. Like I feel like for some reason they just all like they just I feel like most people like
There's
to catch like 10 pounds and for 3 fish in 3 hours is pretty good. On the gunpowder too.
I mean, there's been so many times where I go out and I fish, and the first 2 hours are just complete dead zones. It is like
Yeah, I
that
know.
last hour, literally the last 30 minutes, where like shit'll just turn on all of a sudden, and then we'll put 3 in the boat.
Yeah.
And
The one-
that happened like 3 to 4 different times last year, where it came down to the last hour of fishing, of just grinding it out, and then something happened.
That's how we filled our limit. I mean, we didn't do good the tournament we fished. We caught 2 in the last 15 minutes.
Right.
So it's just you gotta hope and pray, and just stick with it mentally.
I've been practicing some different techniques already early this spring because
Have you?
I mean, what I was doing last year was like catching fish, but it wasn't putting the numbers in that I needed it to.
Yeah.
So I'm doing some different stuff. Obviously, always trying to learn some different techniques, but that's why I haven't really talked about it yet. We'll talk about it later on, but I have like a huge shopping cart at Tackle Warehouse right now that I want to drop.
There should be a sale coming up the Memorial Day.
When's Memorial Day? I don't even know if I want to wait
End
that
of
long,
May.
honestly, because if I wait until that sale hits and then try to do everything and try to buy everything I want to buy, it's not going to be there.
That's true. Yeah, it'll be a month. I think Memorial Day is the last weekend of May.
Right. I mean, my frog situation's pretty decent, but I just like the soft plastic game. It's got to get turned up a little bit.
Yeah.
Yeah, man, freaking. So how did Headwaters go? You were in Headwaters on Sunday.
Sunday. Yeah, it was super windy, and it was it wasn't. I feel like that was one of the cooler days. It was still hot, but it wasn't. Saturday was 88, 90, and it was pretty humid and hot. Sunday it was probably blowing 15 to 20 all day. It said it was only going to get up to 13, and first thing in the morning the wind was whipping, so it was luckily I wasn't on the trolling motor. It would have been probably a total nightmare, but yeah, it was hard conditions, positioning the boat in places you could fish, but we pieced together something little, I guess, and got on a little pattern. We got a few punching, and then there's a spot that kind of has submerged trees, almost like Lake Fork.
Okay.
How they have this, it's not as big as those, and that's I feel like we usually do pretty good there, and that's we got a few there. We didn't get any big ones. We got probably 15, 16, or 15, 16, and then we probably lost another 4 or 5. But I got a 3, pushing 3 on a speed worm. But yeah, it was a fun day.
I was gonna say, never having fished anywhere down in Florida, are you utilizing a lot of your home style techniques for frogs and your flipping stuff that you always like to do? And I have no idea what it even like. I don't even know, is it shallow? Is it deep? I have no idea
It's
what any of these lakes are like, especially headwaters.
Yeah. Headwaters. It's pretty shallow. It's pretty shallow for the most part. There's this place called like the Pits.
Mhm.
I'm pretty sure. I'm almost positive, and that gets like deeper. I feel like the deepest part's like 20 feet, but it's not like it's like a little area that's like it's not like big at all. Um, my dad knows it way better than I do, but
Are guys out there throwing crankbaits and jerkbaits and stuff like that, or is it just like too grassy in the area to do?
I feel like it's too grassy.
Techniques
Maybe in
and
that,
stuff
maybe
like
in like
that.
the deep spots you could like. My dad's caught a few in like rattle traps in like the deep spots, but like
Mhm.
for the most part, I feel like it's like somewhat how we throw up here. But I feel like it also like fishing with like that thick of grass sometimes, because like at least for me, even though it gets grassier in the summer, I don't really fish in like the thick grass.
Yes.
So when you go down there, it's like it's kind of different. Like I fish a chatterbait a lot down there and just try to work it through the grass, but like it does kind of get like annoying when it's like you kind of have to like expand what you're like comfortable doing. At least for me, because I don't like usually fish in like super thick grass. So it's like I probably should expand a little, but I also feel like there's only like so many things you can throw to where it's like it could just be me overthinking it. If that makes sense.
I'm trying to think about it. I'm trying to think about it and put in like I'm always trying to envision in my head the different scenarios from fishing, say the flats or and I mean that's really all I fish. I fish Conowingo, fish the flats, fish Joppa.
Mm-hmm.
So not going out of state too much. Always trying to envision like other places in my head and what's going on. And like when I think about Florida, I'm thinking about those like grassy freaking channels that all those guys are running through and all that stuff. And it just looks like something that you would just flip a weedless bait in all day long, or maybe a spinner bait down a grass line or something.
Mm-hmm.
But where's the speed worm? Where does that become popular down in Florida? Just because of how weedless it is?
I think so. I mean, I feel like it's actually really underrated. Like, I feel like it could. You probably have to like, you might have to fish it. Well, maybe not in fit, but like, I fish it sometimes in the gunpowder, just not as much.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I caught the one in the tournament, on one. I just like it because it's like it's almost like a chatterbait, but you don't. It's not like it just doesn't get as. I mean, it's not really like a chatterbait, but like, it just doesn't get hung up as much. I feel like, so I feel like I can throw it in spots like to where the spot like through those trees where it's like I don't really have to worry about it like getting hung on grass really or hung on a tree for the most part. So I think it's just more versatile. Like you can get it in little corners and spots that like you might not be able to get other baits in. But I feel like you would love that place because you could fish like people fish big swim baits there all the time, and I don't really know how to fish them. So I would like if I knew I would.
What, like big glide baits and stuff like that?
Yeah, like there's a guy, I think his name's Jim Fallon. My dad's like on like the Headwaters Facebook page, and he literally fishes there every day, and he fishes like big swim baits and glide baits, and he probably catches like a few, like a 4 a day, I would say.
That's cool.
Yeah.
I mean, see, if you can, I guess it all depends too. If you're fishing your glide baits really subsurface and like in that 1 foot water column, I guess you could get away with that.
Yeah.
But I guess going to go fish that glide bait down in the 4 to 5 foot range, you're gonna start is where you're gonna get into your snags and all that stuff. Is that
Mm-hmm.
all the ooh,
Wow.
all the grass coming up?
Yeah, we had it's actually cool. So we got in like a little bit of a punching pattern. Not really, but like we caught like 5 punching, but it kind of felt like a pattern as the day went on. My dad picked it up and then he put it down, and I picked it up and caught a few. But it was cool because so like that's like it's like man-made down there, and then they like filled it with water over time, and then it was open to like kayakers for I want to say like 5 to 10 years first, and then boaters were allowed. And there's like a bunch of those like stick marsh weed looking things like that they have on like the in Joppa, like on like the sides, like the canals. It kind of looks like that, but like, and they'll be like in between them they'll be deep, but like out on the edges to where it's like more of like an open and like flat area, it'll be like shallow. It's like kind of weird how they did it, but like in between the two patches, it's like it'll get 10 feet deep and it'll only be like 2.5 boats wide. But then if you like go out on like the ends where it's like open and there's like space in between them all, then it'll get like flatter.
Mm-hmm.
Or sorry, like not as deep. So it's a cool place though. It's hard to figure out, I think, for the most part.
Is that one of them places where it's like a lake and then like on the other side of the road there's like another freaking lake type of those deals?
There's like three. There's like, so it's like Headwaters, Stick Marsh.
It's flooded plain.
Kind of. Yeah, but it's like man-made.
Right.
Yeah.
Like man-made flooded.
Yeah, basically.
Mm-hmm.
I would say.
Do that.
They took all the water.
Come from this Maryland boy, it's so hard
Yeah.
to like picture these things. Like you see it on YouTube and stuff, I guess, but
Yeah.
I don't know. I gotta make it down there.
It's a fun place. I feel like if you would go there and you could get on like a big swim bait bite, you would love it. Because that would just be like it's basically what you do up here.
Right.
Plus grass, which there's still grass here in the summer.
That was part of my goals for this year was to get on, try to get the swim bait bite going out on the flats. I've done it a couple times, but it's hard.
Yeah.
You got to time it right because the grass and everything, throwing glide baits, it doesn't work really well out there.
Yeah.
It's like that one floating strain of eelgrass and it's totally wrecked.
Yeah. I want to get better at throwing a frog. That's it. I saw it like you said goals for like 2023 kind of.
Mm-hmm.
I would love to get better at like using a frog. I would also say a crankbait too, maybe, but I don't fish enough when it's like not grassy. Like now in the spring, I can't really fit. Like my dad's like slammed shut at work with tax season and everything, so he's like that just ended. But then I have like golf season and everything for like end of school year, like graduation, exams. So I'm never really like free until after school, like after school ends, which is like I feel like I would fish a crankbait a lot in the spring and I guess in the fall too.
Spring, fall, definitely. You can fish them in the summertime too. You just got to find those clear patches.
Yeah,
You know.
but I feel like I want to get better with the frog. I'm not confident at all. I know some people that like Tony fishes them all the time,
All the time.
and he's like so confident with it. It's just I feel like it's all mental.
It is. Last year, I didn't have any confidence in a frog either. And as I started fishing the Thursday nighters, I learned that I better learn to have confidence in a frog because that's what people are catching fish on right now.
Yeah,
I can't throw the top water baits that I did have confidence in because they were treble hook baits.
yeah,
And they're just getting snagged up every single time. Throwing a weedless paddle tail through the grass is just not always a key bite. And I mean, a buzzbait is a great bite, but it's not always a key bite either.
yeah,
Sometimes you need that thing that's going to sit right in that pocket. It's just going to sit there and just be in that strike zone for a period of time and before it gets bit. And looking back at it now, I don't really know why I lost confidence in a frog, but I just did. I guess it was from not using them so much and just finding other ways to catch fish that you kind of forget that that's a fantastic way to actually catch fish.
yeah.
It's
I
so
feel
fun.
That yeah, like I love I thought top water bite's like fun.
It's the most fun bite, dude.
I
When they
think
blowing up on that frog and just letting them eat it and then just ripping into them is the best.
I think the like the adrenaline with like when I feel like when I'm jumping around kind of, but when you went like go back to Thursday nighters, like the adrenaline that you have there to like you only have 3 hours and you have to like start catching them soon. That adrenaline plus like the bite that I usually get on, I think it's the most fun.
Yeah.
Just the way you feel them and you're like it's there and you're gonna either set the hook and it's not gonna and you're gonna have to like fight to keep it on or it's gonna be like a big one. Like that is like the most. I think that's the most fun bite.
Every time there's a big blow up on the top water, it's always in my mind that I'm like, this could be a giant.
Yeah,
The top water bite, the giants love eating frogs.
yeah,
They love eating frogs. It's just like every time they hit, it's just like this could be a big one.
yeah.
So I love that. Not to mention, I'm not like just to like get into it a little bit here, but dude, the snakehead blow ups are wild.
They like suck it in though. They don't like blow it up like a bass. I feel like they're just like gulping it, but they're still like massive.
It's like that
Yeah,
but it's still, dude. Like when a 10 or a 12 pound snakehead grabs a hold of your frog and sucks it in and takes off with it, it's
and you don't
I
know
don't
it's a
care what any.
snakehead.
You don't know it's a snakehead yet, so
It's
you're still enjoying the fight.
yeah,
And then you see it's a snakehead, and you're like, ooh.
yeah,
But either or, like I enjoy it. I think it's fun. Other than when they wreck my JDM frogs, I don't like that very much.
yeah. It does suck. On the snakehead topic, my friend bow fishes all the time. And he said he was up in like the gunpowder. Like, he said big gunpowder, which I think he went like up to almost like the train bridge or the bridge part. And he said there's a ton of snakehead like everywhere, and they kill like no, like probably 20 every like weekend night they go out.
Big snakehead up,
Yeah,
big gunpowder
yeah.
on clear side.
They go up there, and they said they found like that's where he said. He said like up near the bridge. The only bridge is
Yeah.
like the Route 40 bridge, so
Yeah.
that's where I'm assuming he went. And he also said there were some big bass that he saw up there too.
I'm sure there is big bass up there. I caught a 5, not all the way up to the bridge, but I've caught a 5 pounder up there before.
Yeah, he said there's some big bass. Like I'm assuming it also could be like down farther, where like more where we fish, like down
Right.
like that side. But he said he was like talking about it like there were some pretty good ones.
Mm-hmm. They're definitely. I think summertime when the oxygen levels start to deplete out on the bigger water, it starts to warm up. I think some of that moving water maybe keeps a little bit cooler of a temperature and keeps a little bit more of a higher oxygen content in it. And I think a lot of times in the summertime, those fish can actually venture up into there. And or there's a lot of cover up there, and it's like a sand bottom. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
So in some of those eddies or something like that, I could possibly see them going up there and spawning too. However, it's pretty shallow in most of the areas. So, and it's very clear. So I don't know. It's kind of give or take in there. I don't really think they're going to go and spawn in a place where you can just visibly, a bird or something could visibly see where they are from the sky.
yeah, that's true.
So I don't know. But they're definitely up there. And one of the beautiful parts about that is the bass boats aren't going up there.
Yeah, I'm not going up there.
It's not happening. John boat, kayak territory. I'm sure he's probably on some type of John boat
Yeah,
boat
they are.
fishing rig. I don't think the bass boats can even clear enough water to get back there
Yeah,
where you need to go. And it's probably even more treacherous this year than it was last year with all the freaking laydowns that are in there now that have been washed down.
did they open up that? Did they let like the flow come? Didn't they block that off when they were doing the work with the bridge? They like stopped. They were like put a little dam up to block the water.
I don't think so. I don't remember seeing anything though.
I swear Rob said that. I don't know. I could be wrong. I don't know.
What's the toilet bowl flush?
I don't. Who said that?
They did dam it up.
Oh yeah. See,
Look, Scott Sewell says he hasn't seen you in Hogpen Creek yet this year.
I don't even know where Hogpen Creek is. Somewhere in Middle River, I guess.
Somewhere in Middle River. Dude, so they dammed it up before the bridge, I guess, because they were working on the bridge.
Yeah.
Well, I'm assuming they freaking took it down. I don't know
swear
when.
it's still up.
It was maybe it's way before
Or
the bridge then, because when I went up there last year, I mean, I went all the way up underneath the bridge and then kept on going in the John boat. So
I don't know. Someone could correct me if I'm wrong, but I swear Rob told me like last year that they dammed it up. That's why there's not as much flow coming out. I could be wrong though.
okay, you said the snakehead bite sounds like a toilet flushing.
Is that bad or good?
I don't know.
What does that mean?
He says it sounds like a toilet bowl flushing.
Oh, the sound. I thought you meant like the butt. Oh, never.
No,
never
the
mind.
sound of the snakehead eating a frog sounds
Yeah.
like a toilet bowl flushing.
No, I could see that. I thought that meant something like way differently, kind of.
Yeah. Interesting. Yeah, I had no idea they did that and dammed off the bridge. So I don't know what kind of effects that had on it whatsoever.
I don't know.
I never visually saw any of that. I got all the way up to the bridge, went all the way to the other side of it. I never saw a dam though.
Last year?
Yeah.
Unless it was like, I don't know. Whatever. I might be totally wrong.
Possible. I do remember there was like 3 channels and you could only go through like one of them. I think
Then that might be
maybe that was it, but I mean it wasn't like a dam.
Yeah. Do you think the fish are spawning right now? Because my dad said that the fish are really fat, or at least the fish that he caught were really fat.
I think there's a good chance that they could be getting ready to spawn. Yeah.
What's today's date? The 20.
What's the moon phase? You can pay attention to that
It's-
moon phase too, because
It's not full. It was
if
just.
it's not the next full moon phase, I bet you those fish will
That'll be like
let loose.
mid-May,
mid-May.
I believe. The moon phase.
Nah, they're getting ready to spawn right now. Some of them, obviously, like the spawn happens throughout a couple of months, but I definitely think that the early spawners, if a couple of them haven't already spawned, I definitely think they're setting up to spawn right now. Yeah.
Yeah.
The
I would
couple
agree.
that I have caught over the past couple weeks, tails are torn up and they're really fat.
Next
they're big.
next new moon is May 19th. Next full moon is May 5th.
Yeah, obviously. I mean, I think it can just be a weekly basis type of deal. But
And right now it's 32.7 waxing crescent. So
whatever
whatever that means.
is 32.7% of the moon not being covered up
I think
by.
it's the opposite way. I think it's 32.7% of the moon is being shown.
That's what I was saying.
You said covered up.
I said not being covered up.
Oh, yeah.
Don't do that to me. just because I'm just graduated Calvert Hall.
I'm not that smart. You know, like, you can ask my teachers. Just because I go to Calvert Hall doesn't mean I'm like a genius.
Yeah. Now, I mean, just because to Brent, look at their tails. Yeah, I've seen they definitely have some blood tail going on, but you see the blood tail for, like I was saying, the spawn goes for a couple of months.
Mm-hmm.
So they're beating beds in right now. They're getting ready to spawn. I don't think they're spawned out because they
No.
weren't really thin.
Yeah.
They
no.
were still really fat. So they're doing what they're setting up to spawn right now. Yes.
Yeah, I would agree. I might try to go fishing Saturday. We have prom in the afternoon or like the night, but I might try to go out in the morning.
Just take your date fishing.
Yeah. Tell her to screw off and
I said take her fishing, not tell her to screw off. It's a difference.
okay. But like you said it the way of just like say we're not going to prom and we're gonna go fishing.
Yeah.
Yeah, but prom's at night, so it's like not a big. You don't have to worry about it. Sure, you lost me.
I never went to any of my school dances. I don't even know every year. I've never been to one.
The one we had in like the winter was actually kind of fun. That was like that in like our freshman
You
year.
guys are
Everyone else
all
is, like-
boys' school. So what schools are? What do you have? Like, is there a Stevenson High School or is that college only?
It's college.
What are the girls' schools that you guys?
Like NDP, Mercy, all the
Okay.
public schools, Maryville, Bryn
Public
Mawr.
schools?
Yeah, public schools still have girls.
I know that, but I didn't think the
Oh.
public schools and like the private schools
Yeah, if you want
associated
to.
in it. Okay.
Yeah.
I don't know how any of that works, dude. I wasn't cool enough to go to school dances. I was that kid that threw a bonfire in my parents' field every school dance instead of going to the dance.
Still fun.
The
It's probably-
bonfire
it's
or the
the
dance?
bonfire.
Oh yeah, the
Yeah.
best times of my life.
Yeah, they're still probably better than the dances, but
They
whatever.
were absolutely better
Yeah.
than the dances. There's no question about
Yeah,
it.
it's whatever. It's senior prom. I'm going, I guess.
Yeah, you got to go to your senior prom.
I'm not saying like, yeah, it's fine. It's actually at M&T Bank Stadium, which is kind of cool.
Oh really?
Yeah,
That's tight, dude.
yeah. And then there's like, so they have like a post prom, I guess. I don't really know why they only do it for senior prom and not all the other dances, but they have like, we go to like Dave & Buster's afterwards from like 12 to like 4 a.m. I guess to like try to stop kids from like going out partying and drinking, but it's like, I don't really know, whatever. So,
Are you going to the post prom thing, or are you going to?
yeah, it's like mandatory.
it's mandatory.
Yeah.
Really?
I'm assuming but I'm like, it's kind of weird because I'm like, why do you not do it for like we have another senior dance in December that already happened. They have junior prom. Like, I guess it's just because like they don't want kids like, oh, it's my senior prom. It's 2 weeks away from graduation.
It's your last shindig.
Yeah, like I guess it's probably helpful because I bet if they didn't do it, a kid would get kicked out of school because of something stupid they done it. Like,
I understand
Or
the
I could
point.
feel-
I remember when they started implementing stuff like that, like close to about when it was like a year or two after I got out of high school, they started implementing stuff like that. And I definitely think it is to cut down on the amount of alcohol usage that high schoolers are using during those parties and stuff like that. There's a lot of, I remember when I was a kid, or not a kid, but I remember when I was coming out of high school that they would tell you all the stories of people that would go out and like get in car accidents on the way to prom or on the way home from prom because they were drinking or something. And
yeah,
I think that's a lot of what stemmed from that.
mm-hmm.
I do think it's kind of weird though. Like you guys can like drive on the public roads and everything, and then they're just like, you have to go to Dave and Buster's after
know.
the dance tonight.
It's kind of weird,
Go
but
play in the ball pit.
whatever.
Dude, enjoy
Well,
it. At least you have a good attitude about it. That's cool.
Yeah,
You know, I'm
make
sure
most
there's a
of it.
lot of people that are probably complaining about it. Probably do want to go out to a party.
Apparently, there's bowling at Dave and Buster's though. I didn't know that. So, I was
Maybe.
like, bet kids for their
Have
money.
have you ever been there before?
No.
Dave and Buster's is cool.
It's the one in like the city too. I think
That one I've never been to.
I've never been to the one over in like the mall. Is that the one you're talking about?
I'm talking about the one at that's like Christiana Mall, I think, near the I think it's in the same place like Bass Pro Shop, Medieval Times,
Then maybe that's where it is. It's not in like the city. It's like close to it.
Anne Arundel or something. No,
It might be. I don't know. It's some. Dave
I
and
am
Buster's in there.
geographically like not good
I'm not
with
geographically
directions
good
and
either.
stuff like that. I'm just like, how do you get there?
Yeah.
Just take that road and then make a left and then make a right and then make a left. Well,
Okay.
how? I'm just like,
The only
I just
places
know
I-
how to do it.
The only place I know in Maryland is like Bel Air, Towson, D.C. I guess, and Baltimore.
You know DC?
No, like I know, like if you tell me I live in D.C., I know where that is. But like if you're like I live in like,
I'm talking about just like how to
Jarrettsville. Oh.
navigate somewhere. Like,
oh, I thought you were talking about like where it is on a map.
I mean, you can even tell me how to go somewhere in Jarrettsville. I'm still putting it on Google Maps.
Oh yeah, like I'm bad with directions for the
Yeah.
most part.
I mean,
At least places that are like new.
you need me to get to the G place in Jarrettsville, I'm good. But it's like, you want me to go to your house somewhere? We're not so keen on that one.
Yeah.
Shit, man. I'm trying to think really quick. I'm actually what I need to do is I need to try to bring up this tackle warehouse order. Here it is. I don't know the password. That's why I freaking did this.
I didn't know you had an account for Tackle Warehouse.
Mm-hmm. See, it doesn't even make sense. I put in a password request to like change my password, so it keeps track of all my orders and stuff, so I can go back and see the baits that I bought in the past, and like sometimes I'll like buy something and totally forget what it was, and then I just broke it off on something. I'm like, shit. I'm like, exactly which crankbait was that I lost.
Yeah.
And I like being able to go back into my tackle warehouse and be like, oh, it was that one. And then just rebuy it if I
I think
need
that's
to.
okay. That makes sense. I think my dad does that because he does like he'll go back and look at like past things we've bought and then buy more of them.
Oh, that's why. Never mind. All right, we're not going to be going over my tackle warehouse order tonight. I tried to do that way more than 3 hours ago, and it said you had to do that within 3 hours of the email being sent. So
It's convenient.
that would be why. So we will go over that. Actually, we'll probably just do an unboxing of it after I order it. That'll be fun.
That'll be a lot of stuff.
Yeah, I mean it's like a $600 tackle warehouse order, but it's all
Free
like,
shipping.
It's not like swim baits and stuff. It's
That's
terminal tackle and it's fishing hooks and soft plastics. And I actually broke down. I'm going to try some different crankbaits this time instead of just throwing strictly Megabass.
You only throw Megabass crankbaits?
All I own is Megabass jerkbaits and crankbaits.
Interesting. I don't really throw a jerkbait. I don't know if you do, but I like rarely do.
I own 40 jerkbaits, and I really don't throw any of them.
Yeah, I don't really think like besides if you're in like one of like the pond or the quarry, I don't really think there's. I could be wrong, but I don't really like see a need to throw them.
You can throw jerkbaits up on Conowingo a lot and stuff like that.
Yeah.
There's places you can definitely utilize jerkbaits and deeper diving crankbaits and stuff like that. Throwing crankbaits is one of my favorite ways to catch largemouth in this area, especially in the springtime. Right now, you're not going to catch me without a crankbait in my hand.
Yeah,
I
it's
love
fun.
throwing crankbaits. It's the best.
Do you just reel a crankbait or do you stop and start?
Stop and start. Stop and start. Speed variation. You know, I'll throw it out and I'll drag it. I'll pull it in pretty quickly to try to get it down to its optimum depth, and then I'll try to run it pretty much just slow enough so that I can feel it wobbling, doing its thing, and I'll just run it and maybe do a little pause here and there, and just kind of do different variations of things, and then kind of try to dial in if they're eating it or not.
Yeah, I like never just straight reel a crankbait. Like I'll see people on like YouTube do it, and I don't understand how they do it. Cause I never get a bite like when I'm just straight retrieving it.
You never get a bite when you're straight retrieving it.
It's always on a pause. Like it's 99.9% of the time it's on a pause.
I see a lot of times I just get bit when I'm reeling it in.
Like you don't even stop.
Yep,
But it's like
back.
after a stop.
It's your cadence. You have to change your cadence. If you're just throwing it out and just burning it back in and you're not getting bit, throw it out there, get it down to its depth, change your speed. Just really slowly, just bring that thing back. Feel it as it just freaking hits everything down on the bottom. A lot of times what generates my strikes with the crankbait is when that thing goes down there and it tips a rock, it tips over a log, it hits a branch, and that bait hits, and you'll feel it hit. Well, a lot of times when it hits, I'll give it a little jerk with the on the reel, on the handle, and pop it up over that. And a lot of times they'll hit on the reaction strike of the bait popping up over top of something. So a lot of times I'm reeling, it's a constant reel, and you hit something, and the action of it hitting something and then popping over top of it creates a reaction bite.
I think that's the same thing that I do with or when you stop it, because I feel like to a fish it would look pretty similar, to where
Right.
when you pause it, because then it'll stop and then it'll keep back going, and when you stop it, it kind of rises and then it digs back down. If you look in a video,
It's no different to me than the same way you're burning a spinnerbait back, you're bringing a chatterbait back, you're bringing a crankbait back. You've been hit on the move with a spinnerbait, you're going to get hit on the move with a chatterbait. They're hitting it on the move with a crankbait too.
yeah,
You're just open water, you're on the outside of that grass line, or you're underneath of it. You know what I mean?
mm-hmm.
I really think early Joppa is great for the cranks after the grass dies, just because you have a lot of rock structure,
yeah,
and the cranks do really well on the rock structure.
mm-hmm.
Other than that, though, man, Conowingo, it's good for them. It's hard to use them in other places like the flats and stuff like that. You know,
yeah,
you can throw maybe a 1 or 2 foot diver, but you're gonna snag up after all the grass starts coming in.
yeah.
So you got to go to other options. Weedless paddle tails, your flipping baits, frogs, drop shots. And I don't know anything about the flat side. Suck ass at fishing.
I don't really know.
This
I don't
is
even think
just
we went up there. I don't even think I went up there last year. We usually fished a tournament a tournament or two a year
I
up
think I
on
fished
the
twice
opens.
last year.
I think I don't even know if I went up there once. Because we were just doing we were fishing a good amount, but we were doing mainly Thursday nighters and then practicing for them.
Mm-hmm.
And between those two, I didn't really have much time to go and just go up there and fish.
Your dad says that he loves it when they hit right after the paws on a crankbait.
He
and
always says that.
Well, dude, it's true because you can feel it.
Yes.
You can feel the fish draft the crankbait.
Yeah.
Like you'll feel like you'll pause it or you'll be running that crankbait and you'll feel that fish get up behind it and create a disturbance and you'll feel it in the rod and then all of a sudden you'll just load up. It's definitely a good feeling.
No, yeah, I love that feeling.
Yeah.
And especially like when you're I like it on a chatterbait, especially when you're like ripping it through grass and you don't like you can't even really tell until like if you think about it afterwards that when it paused, like you're thinking about, oh, it paused, and then you feel the fish. Like in the moment, you're like, I couldn't even tell it paused. But like when it pauses, then you can like kind of feel like suck it in. It's like
I always think that I'm hitting a piece of grass and I'm getting snagged. Like
you have to like
well,
like when a fish hits it.
yeah, so like you're ripping it through the grass. You get into some grass, you rip it out of the grass. You hit some grass, you rip it out of the grass.
Mm-hmm.
Well, that next time you think that you hit a patch of grass and you're ripping it out of the grass, but really it's a fish that grabbed your lure.
Yeah.
And then it's like, oh shit. Or you rip it out of the grass and then you get banged.
That's what happened when I caught that. I was like, what, 5.5 when we were out there
Right.
in the fall. I was right up against that.
That was a
grass line.
big fish. Dude,
That was an awesome fish.
That has like 1,200 likes on it on Instagram.
I know you sent it to
and
me.
like,
You're like, this thing's kind of blowing up.
it's got like 50 or like 70,000 views or something on it.
Yeah.
My most viewed Instagram post ever is just you holding up a fish and then some guy saying it looks like a turtle.
Oh, that was funny. You sent me that, and then you made like a meme out of it or something.
Yeah, I made a little meme out of it and it went like not viral, but it got a lot of likes.
Yeah, that was funny.
Pretty good. It was like,
That was a good fish.
This looks like a freaking sea turtle.
That's my personal best on the gunpowder.
Is it?
Yeah,
Right
5.5.
on. Right on. That's a hefty fish on the gun. That's a good fish on the gunpowder.
That's a really good fish.
My best on the gunpowder is flat 6.
That's good.
It's a flat 6, and then my 6.5 is actually.
There's big ones out there. Like I think they don't bite as much, but I think there's like equal. Like I think there's probably a few 10. I would say there's a few 10s out there.
In Joppa.
I'm getting that far. Yeah, I just think they don't like bite.
I think they're there. I think there's.
Like there has to
I think
be.
the 10 is like. I think a 10 would be like gnarly. Like that's freaking crazy. However, I think there's 7 and 8 swimming in there. I know for a fact that a 9 was caught in Joppa,
Yeah, like I think
but it's like a fairy tale. You know what
there's
I mean?
like I bet there's probably. I wonder. Like I would love to. I've told this to my dad. I feel like a few times. I would love to like literally just put on like snorkeling gear and just go swim and see how many fish there are. Like I feel like to us there's not that many, but I feel like there's literally everywhere, and you just have to like trick them to bite. Like when you feel like you're not getting bit, you're like, oh, there's no fish around. I feel like there's fish everywhere.
Anytime that you fish that area and they're not biting, they're just not eating.
Yeah,
There's so many of them there.
that's what I'm saying.
that
Like there
it's
has to be like
yeah.
there has to be like a 2 to 5 10-pounders in either like the pond or the quarry.
Well, maybe.
I'm gonna say like
Maybe, but
I'm
I
gonna
have
say,
no
like,
idea how to
full,
catch
too.
them. And I'm
Not
here to
like
tell you that
skinny
I think
ones.
I'm the only one that's in there throwing giant baits too. So I don't know.
Well, the guy in the tournament caught like a 9.7.
Somebody's gonna catch it on like a
On a
micro
shaky head.
TRD.
Yeah, the one
Yeah.
guy in like the 2021, I think it was fall. He caught the one that was up like the river rats open. It was out of Havre de Grace. He caught that one that was like 9.7. I'm saying it was full. It was fat. Like if you take, I'm pretty sure it was fat. If it wasn't, but like if I'm not saying it's like a skinny 9-pounder, like it's a hefty 9-pounder.
It was a hefty 9
yeah,
pounder.
but he caught on a shaky head. It's not like he caught on like a big bait or anything.
Oh yeah, elephants eat peanuts.
Yeah.
Elephants eat peanuts, but at the same time, they also eat giant things too. Elephants also push trees over. So, I like the pushing trees over aspect of things.
I actually have a question for you. How do you like when you're fishing a big bait, like a glide bait or like a big swim bait, do you feel it like really hit it? And do you like, for a glide bait, do you just reel into it because that's a treble hook bait?
Yeah.
That's what I thought.
You definitely know when
Like
they
it's
hit
not
it.
like, oh, that could be something else.
I mean, no. No,
Okay.
for the most part, when I'm fishing a glide bait and I'm fishing it in that like 1 to 3 foot zone, I know when I'm throwing it over top of a lay down or something, and I might hit a branch or something and have a little jolt or get snagged. But when I'm fishing it in a place where I know it's open water, I'm in 1 to 6 feet of clear open water, and something bumps it.
Mm-hmm.
Something either has swiped at it, but for the most part, in my experience, when they swipe at a glide bait, they don't really miss it.
Yeah.
I mean, they'll come up to it and look at it and turn away, but when they actually go to hit it, they're gonna hit it.
Yeah.
And they hit them. They freaking wreck those things when they hit them. You've done pissed them off when they hit that.
Yeah. Because we threw the one that I was telling you about, like, very little. But I was like, or I think my dad said, he's like, how do I know? Or I don't know if I was thinking it or he said it, or like, he said definitely, like, do I set the hook into it? But like, I was thinking, like, at least for maybe like a big swim bait, you got to set the hook to get the hook jammed. But for a glide bait, you probably just reel down.
Pull your slack out, just like almost like a crankbait, man. Just like a crankbait. Reel your slack out and just lean.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Just lean into it and sink in, and you just gotta let the rod just keep them pinned.
Yeah.
Now, when I'm throwing my mag drafts, my Dream Smashers or my Citizens,
Mm-hmm.
I'm throwing that on an extra heavy swim bait rod.
Yeah.
In my experience now, my mag draft is my number one paddle tail bait that I get bit on, and in my experience and all the fish that I've caught on that mag draft, when they eat that mag draft, they eat that mag draft.
Yeah.
Like, they'll take that rod out of your hands when they eat that mag draft. There is no mistaking that something just destroyed your lure underneath the water. But the one thing is, as exciting as that is in the moment, because you know that something just ate it. And in your mind, when you know that something just ate your 6-inch swim bait down there, like, I could have anywhere from a 3 to a freaking 7-pounder on this thing down there.
Yeah.
You forget to reel in your slack.
Because you just set the hook right away.
And you just want to go set the hook right away. So
That,
instead of like you engaging the hook into that fish here, you're all the way up here before anything happens.
yeah.
So you need to reel in that slack until you feel a little bit of tension, and then just tee off on them.
Yeah.
I mean, that's one of the more fun bites in my opinion. I love getting bit on glide baits. It's cool just to get bit on a swim bait. But my most favorite thing is just getting bit on one of the mag drafts because of the way that you get to hook set the fish. I mean, you just get to send it home.
Yeah.
And that's what I like. You got to drive that big ass beast hook through their tough upper lip or wherever that thing's going to go.
Mm-hmm.
You got to make sure it gets there.
Yeah.
So you just reel in and just drive it as hard as it's the best hook sets. They're so much fun.
When you're fishing when you said like you kind of got to like let it take it for a second, basically.
Yep.
Yeah, it's
Just like a frog.
It's like the same way with a speed worm too. At least from what I've experienced. Like when you feel it, I wait it feels like 5 seconds, but it's probably like a second or two to like let it get it. Because I feel like sometimes maybe even with a bigger, it kind of depends on like the size speed worm. But I feel like for me, when I'm fishing like a speed worm, I have to let it take it a little. Or if I set the hook right away with like it would be like with any other bait, I guess, it's going to miss it a good amount of times.
Do you think that's just because of how much tail that's behind the hook?
Yeah, so there's a Z-Man speed worm that I fish, and then there's one that's from Strike King that my dad was fishing. The one that he was fishing was probably like 9 inches, 10 inches maybe.
That's a big speed worm.
Yeah, it's probably like anywhere from 8 to 10. The one I'm fishing is probably a few inches smaller than that. So I feel like with mine, it's not as much, but with like his big one, I feel like they might grab it with the tail.
Right.
Then they get in a little bit more and a little bit more.
And that's
so
when you kind of have to let them.
So you actually have to let them. And then you also know too, because like you'll go to wait a second too, and you set the hook and the worm's all messed up. Or like the tail's gone. It's like, you had them, they might not have had it.
Mm-hmm.
So.
Yep. Another one of the big things with the mag, I'm just talking about the mag draft here specifically because I have like the most confidence in the bait and it's what I throw the most. The little bait fish, the bluegill, the crappie, dude, they tear it up.
Yeah.
Like you don't catch them on it because it's too big, but the amount of like false narrative that you get when you're like throwing the bait and then you'll have a little like bluegill come up to it and just like gently peck the tail, and it's just enough for you to be like,
Yeah.
just like reel into it, and you're like, and then there's nothing there.
Yeah. No, I think I was thinking the same way when I was fishing this weekend. I was like, I feel like some of the times when I'm like, oh, there's a fish, and it's something so like small, and I go to set the hook and it's nothing. I'm like, well, was that grass and the thing's messed up, or was that like a little fish just nicking, like just hitting the tail, like how?
They do, man. Those little fish down there. I don't know exactly what species or anything they are. I mean, I know we have the bluegill and the crappie and the yellow perch and the white perch.
We
The
have
white
big
perch
shad.
are very aggressive.
Have
We
you
have
ever caught a
big-ass
shad?
too.
Oh my
I don't
God.
see the shad as being as aggressive as the white perch and stuff, though.
Yeah.
Dude, the amount of white perch that I have eat like, and some of the big crappie back there that are just like eating full size crankbaits and stuff like that. By the way, I did say that you don't catch anything on. Steve caught a 2-pound crappie on a 6-inch mag draft in on the Potomac a couple weeks ago.
That's wild. That's crazy.
It is. I have a
A
picture of it on my
2-pound
phone.
crappie. That might be like close to a state record.
Yeah, it was about a 2-pound crappie.
That's a tank.
Yeah, it was a massive crappie. I got a picture of it on my phone. I'll show you after.
That's really cool.
Yeah, it's huge, and he caught it on a mag draft, and I don't know. I've never caught. I caught a carp on a mag draft once, in the mouth.
Those are massive.
Yeah, it was
They're
not
like dead weight though.
It was like a 7-pounder or something like that. I don't know how. I don't think I tried to eat it at all. I think I just got like lucky enough to just hook it, but it literally hooked it like right in the top of the mouth somehow. It
That's
wasn't
weird.
in its mouth, but it was like the hook was hooked into its mouth and then through its cheek somehow. And I have no idea how it happened, but it happened. So
My-
that was kind of cool.
My friend that does the bow fishing, they kill like a bunch of carp too.
Yeah. They kill like the big ass goldfish.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's like a gold coin to them.
Yeah.
We're supposed to say his name, Martin.
Who?
Victor's fish.
Who?
The 9-pounder that you're talking about is Victor.
Oh.
Forgive me if I say your name wrong, Hoss. Ariuma?
Yeah. I
Yeah.
know what you're talking
Ruh,
about.
ruh, 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 ruh.
Is that the guy that said 15 pounds ain't shit?
That's the one.
Yeah.
Well, I guess you can say that when you caught half of 15 pounds in one fish.
I did.
No, he did.
Oh, yeah, that's true. He had like
Um,
25 that day, I want to say. 23, 22.
Yeah.
Which is a bag for where he was fishing.
It's a massive bag. It's a
Yeah.
huge bag.
And from what I heard, he was up and down the same 100-yard stretch all day. Just going up and down and up and down.
Must have known something that somebody else didn't. You know?
I don't understand that, though. I can never have confidence. I mean, I guess if it's working, you can. Just let them reload, basically. Almost like if it's spawning, you catch them and they'll pull back up like the next day.
They have their transition points.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Especially in those areas where you can go from shallow to deep really quickly.
Mm-hmm.
So I could kind of see it. I see it in the pond all day long.
Yeah.
And people go down back to the Forbidden Zone and just parking lot. It's just a circle. They do it all day long. But you keep on catching fish
Mm-hmm.
if they're eating. I don't know. It's been an interesting. I haven't fished nearly as enough as I imagined I was going to. Obviously, I was talking to you about it earlier with the whole Ranger slump.
I would be so mad.
I'm pissed.
That's terrible.
It's not cool, but it's like it has me in this like fishing depression right now. Where I love fishing, but I'm like, and I love my John boat, but I'm like, dude, I'm supposed to be out on my brand new boat right now.
Yeah.
Fishing, like I really had plans to like be on Wingo and like fishing the flats and stuff.
Yeah, you could be ripping around everywhere right now.
Yeah, doing what I need to do to get confidence in fishing other areas. I wanted to fish SummerSlam this year, Ike Foundation. I wanted to fish.
What's a SummerSlam?
I don't think it's by Susquehanna. I don't know who puts it together, but I know there's a fishing
it up
tournament
on-
from SummerSlam. I
On
don't
the
know if it's
Upper Bay?
Susquehanna Flats Trail or something like that.
I don't know. I never heard of it.
Yeah, it's on the Upper Bay.
I want to do the Ike one. I've never done that, but
Yeah.
that's also like the beginning of summer, so I don't know if I'll be home.
Yeah, Ike Foundation tournament. I wanted to fish SummerSlam. I wanted to fish a couple like the Conowingo Open, like deals.
Conowingo's tough.
It is tough, But that was the
play-
whole point of upgrading to a larger bass boat, was to be able to go out and compete on bodies of water like that. I'm not going to go compete against guys in 21-foot boats with a John boat out there.
Yeah.
It's not going to. I mean,
Keith Boucher does it, but he has a decked out.
he's got a
17-footer.
John boat with a 150 on the back
Yeah.
of it.
It's kind of
So,
crazy.
Yeah, that thing's pretty.
He
wild.
basically there isn't there that rule that like you can't have smaller than a 150. The amount of times he probably goes full throttle is like never.
I don't know.
Because in the Bassmaster, someone correct me if I'm wrong, but I'm almost positive that you can't have anything smaller than a 150 on the back. So, and that there's no way that boat is rated for a 150.
I'm
So-
pretty sure that's a custom built like Gator tracks.
Yeah,
Like,
he probably
they
just put
could
a
probably
150
do
on it.
anything they want to as far as like beefing up the transom for a motor.
Yeah.
But I don't know what laws and rules and guidelines are implemented in. What is he fishing that the
He fishes like the
MLF?
MLF and Bassmasters.
Right.
He's doing both, I think. Because I think he qualified because he fished the Bassmaster Open on the Bay,
Mm-hmm.
and then I'm almost positive he qualified for the Elite Series.
Good for him. Good for him. I thought you were going to qualify for the Elite Series.
I'm still 17. There's a lot of time left.
It just happened.
Did we get kicked out?
No.
There we are.
No, we did not get kicked out. Do you know how many times like? So now that we're like coming down to the end of the show here a little bit. I'm not going to keep you here too much longer.
No,
but
you're
it's like
good.
as we're sitting here, like you came into I'm calling it the studio now because it's a little bit more studio like. We got all
I
the
like
audio
it.
foam in here now. We got some different lighting and everything going on. The amount of technological issues is astounding. It's like
It's like
I
when,
hate technology so much.
it's like when you like buy a boat. There's always something to fix. It's like keeps,
Yeah, send the whole boat back and
Yeah.
another one goes
and then
there
it never
also.
comes back.
Yeah, and then it never comes back. I feel like every week we do this like every single week almost. Like it's not. I think I can count on one hand the amount of shows we've actually missed. Like doing over the past year so far.
That's really good though.
It's pretty decent. I think we might have missed like 5, maybe 6 or 7, something like that. It's not a lot. And I feel like there's some type of technological issue every show. It's hard.
Yeah.
It's like a lot of from point A to point Z, and you can't like miss anything or it screws it up. Tonight's been good.
Tonight's been good.
Tonight's been really nice. I was like,
The one day we were here, the power went out,
yeah, the power
and then we couldn't connect, and I feel like we had a GoPro issue, and
couldn't connect, had the GoPro issue. As I've been upgrading audio, we've had audio issues. The GoPro, I'm actually not even using the GoPro to do this anymore. As you can see, I have 2 cell phones that we're actually recording off of.
oh, is that what that is?
That is,
I know
that's a
that
cell
one is.
phone. Yeah, that's
I
a
didn't-
cell phone too. It's just a really old one. It's not even like in service. It's just hooked up to the Wi-Fi.
It looks good though.
It works. It works just as good, if not better, than the GoPro. To be honest with you, one of the things that you can research if anybody's ever looking into like doing something like this, just to have fun, do a little podcast or live stream, whatever. They don't skimp on cameras on cell phones. You know what I'm saying? The cell phone producers, they
Like
don't
they don't-
skimp on cameras. They put a lot of money into the cell phone cameras.
Yeah, I think that's like a big point of some.
It's a
phones.
big point of a lot of the phones. So a lot of some of these phones that are 2, 3, 4 years old, they still have a better processor and a better camera than the GoPro 4 that you have in your closet.
Yeah,
So like that old phone that's like in your drawer somewhere, if you're trying to like do something, will produce a better picture than some of these GoPros do. And the issue, and it's not that GoPro doesn't produce a good picture because they can shoot in 4K. Facebook dumbs down all of your picture and stuff like that.
that's like when you have, like you're in a group chat with like a Samsung and an Apple, and you send something, it's like all messed up.
Exactly.
I don't understand why it does it. It makes
Yeah.
no sense. But
It's the same exact thing with this. So on OBS Studio, we're shooting in 1080 or 4K right now.
okay.
But Facebook takes everything and retards it back down to a. That's not a mean word. That's a legit like word.
Yeah.
It stupefies it back down to like a 720 frame thing.
That's so weird.
Yeah, even on the Restream software that I was using, it would stream in 1080, and then Facebook took and would just dumb the quality down. So no matter what you like really do in a way, you can change like your frame rates, your frames per second, and that will make a difference. But your actual quality between like 720, 1080, and stuff like that
Yeah.
doesn't really matter.
Yeah, that's weird.
I
I wonder why they do that.
That's for Facebook. YouTube, YouTube is different.
You can control it on there.
You can make it a little bit more high quality and stuff like on YouTube.
Yeah.
So I do everything in 1080 for that reason, and then if it wants to dumb it down again,
Yeah, that's fair.
the phones are a lot better for that. And you have spare ones laying around. I don't have to go out and buy $150 webcams.
Yeah.
So it's very convenient.
Yeah, it is. I
don't
never
know.
would have thought about that.
Yep. Dude, the amount of hours I've spent sitting here on a computer just like Googling what works and what doesn't and how to do things. I had no idea how to even edit a video last year.
Editing a video is like, it's kind of tricky until you get it. Then it's like, then it just flows. But like, once you, like, if you're learning it new, it's hard.
It's very hard. Does a lot of different steps in editing a video that can seem overwhelming if you don't
Yeah.
really understand like what you're doing, but break it down, watch a couple YouTube videos and just try it a couple times, and I'm using DaVinci Resolve.
Isn't that what Rob uses?
Yes.
Yeah, because I have that same thing downstairs. We have a computer downstairs, and I have it on there. So like I think we have like there's YouTube videos of us fishing. I don't know if it's on. I think it's my dad's name, but on those I use that, and it's like it's easy to get. If I go down there and do it, it would take me a little. But like if I go back down there after not doing it for a while, it's kind of tricky.
Martin said, "Stop hating on my Hero 4."
I
Not
fe-
hating on your Hero 4, Martin. I'm just saying, if you want to go live from your house, your cell phone's got a better picture. There's ways around it too. It's like it's so stupid. There's so much like stupid technology bullcrap involved in this. It's dumb. You could so easily just like go overboard trying to do everything. I'm like glad that I decided to do these new Rode microphones that I did.
They're sweet. I like them.
Yeah, the one microphone in the middle was like a great starting point, and it like did pick up the audio decently.
Yeah,
But
I feel like you had to talk pretty loud.
you had to talk pretty loud, like talk right into it, kind of whatever. The one thing with these I like is everybody kind of has their own separate mic. These are condensing microphones, but the software that comes with the Rode Connect software kind of helps with noise cancellation and stuff. And then keeping that 8-inch, 6-inch distance from the microphone. When you go back, like you're hearing it in your headset, and the headset, you kind of hear a little bit of echo in your headset when you're talking into it, right?
Yeah. Yeah, because it's like you're hearing, it's not totally noise canceling, like the
Right.
headphones. So you hear yourself talk, and then you hear it go, yeah.
Exactly. Well, they don't hear any of that on like the other end. And the audio between me and you talking in the video, it doesn't, where the Yeti microphone like sounded okay, you could hear it. It's just so much more crisp actually speaking directly into your own microphone.
Yeah.
It sounds more, I'm just going to say it because it's the #1 podcast in America, but it sounds more Joe Roganish to be speaking into your own microphone and having a more crisp voice other than me sitting all the way back here trying to talk into my microphone and it sounds like complete dog shit. You know what I mean?
I like it. It's like satisfying talking into it.
I kind of feel the same way.
Like the
I know
sound of you talking.
Paul's not a huge fan of it. He kind of doesn't like the microphone being in his face. And I kind of get that at the same exact time. But in the same way, I also kind of like it because I think it looks a little bit more professional as well.
Yeah, no, I like it. I like the look of it.
You like the colors? I got the cool color caps.
Yeah, I do.
Yeah, it's pretty tight.
Yeah, it is.
Gotta color code that stuff. Let's see. I know yours is the blue one. Now you can't talk. You're muted.
Yeah, I am muted.
Yep, he's muted. It's because I know it's blue.
Now I can hear myself. There we go.
Oh, Bradley, thanks for coming on today, buddy.
Yeah. That's so loud. No, it's been a good time.
But,
I have a question for you.
Oh, you have a question for me?
Yeah. Well, I kind of just thought about it. I guess this question is like I'm asking it like hopefully knowing that your boat will be back. Are you planning on fishing a lot of tournaments up on the Upper Bay, or trying to, and like learning it?
I think I had like 3 or 4 tournaments in mind that I wanted to fish Ike and I wanted to fish SummerSlam. Those were 2 that I wanted to fish this year that I'm not sure about right now. And then I wanted to fish a couple of the not the SQTs, but just like the like the Conowingo Opens.
Yeah.
Just up there, like from Susquehanna Fishing Tackle that they hold up there. I wanted to fish a couple of those, and I think like River Rats or something does like an open.
They have one in the
like.
They have 2. They have one in the spring, and then they have one in the fall.
Well, I wanted to fish the one in the spring, and I didn't get to. I think they did that one already.
I believe they did. Yeah.
And then I will probably fish the one in the fall if I have my boat back.
Yeah. When's your boat gonna get back? Have you talked to anyone up there?
See,
Like,
look, you're
with
just as
Ranger?
baffled as I am. Like
You sent it away in what, the fall?
I sent it away in
'Cause I remember-
November.
Yeah, we went fishing. I remember talking to you. I was like, "You're hoping to get it back by," you said like March or April. I want to say.
I was
And
hoping
it's
to.
April
Well,
22nd.
I sent it back in November, and you know what? Like anybody that actually knows me, that's a beer. Anybody that actually knows me knows that I'm not a patient person. I'm not super patient. I'm just not.
I'm not good with patience either.
I'm not super patient. This beer is gonna spill down. I'm not a super patient person, and for the first time in my life, I got some patience. I was like, okay, I'm having this problem with my boat. There's paper towels back behind you. Let me get some of those in that box right there.
Got it.
It's like shop rags. They took the boat away, and I just had to accept that, all right, like, the boat's kind of, a bust. They're fixing the issue. It's going to be a while, yada, yada, yada. These things don't happen overnight, you know what I mean? So I didn't, whereas my dad, for once, was actually telling me, call them, be on top of it, make sure they're taking care of what they need to take care of. I was like, oh, it's not going to happen overnight. They're not going to, you know what I mean? Just leave them alone and let them do what they need to do. Well, it was 5 months rolls around, and I still didn't hear nothing from them. So I called them directly, and I was like, what's going on with my boat? And they're like, the person that knows that information isn't here today. Can she call you back tomorrow? Yeah, sure. No problem. Calls me back the next day. Mr. Phipps, oh, we have good news for you. We're going to be replacing your whole boat with a new hull. Okay,
So they're
cool.
giving you a brand new boat.
Yeah, I'm getting a brand new boat.
Okay.
I'm
With
getting.
everything the same on it.
Yeah, they're taking the same exact stuff off the old one and they're just putting it.
So
on
why is
the
it
new
taking
one.
so long if they're just giving you a new boat?
I don't, because they have. So instead of
I
just
know they have to
taking.
still make it, but or build it.
Your guess is just as good as me. I kind of thought that they would take one that they already had made on the floor up there and just ship it home. But no, their new sales are more important than fixing my boat and sending it back to me. So they still don't have a date as to when the boat is actually going to go on the production line and be built. And that was as of last week.
Did they tell you how long it takes to go on the production line?
No, let me get a couple more of those rags. No, they did. From everything I hear, you can be 3 to 4 months on the production line.
That's great. That's absurd.
Yeah. And what bothered me the most out of the entire thing was I had to call them. I called them after 5 months, and they were like, "Oh, we're gonna send you a new one. You need to fill out all this paperwork so that we can swap over the title number and the hall number and all that stuff." And I was like, I'm sitting there, I'm like, how long have you known this before you were gonna call me and tell me any of this? Because like we had to do a bunch of paperwork. They sent me a bunch of paperwork that I had to fill out and then mail it back in order for them to begin this process.
So to give them a new boat, it takes 3 to 4 months.
Allegedly.
I don't understand why they don't like put you at like the top of the line or top of the list and just.
Because they already have my money. That, you know what I'm saying?
That's true. But I mean, I feel like your customer service and what people think of the company would maybe come a little bit higher.
Well, I mean, Ranger's name is fantastic. And you know what? As far as I'm concerned, I still think the boat is great. I love that boat. Me and you fished on it.
Yeah.
Huge. That thing is huge.
Yeah.
Massive boat, big live well, roomy. The front deck is massive, huge rod storage. I actually loved the boat through and through. I have nothing bad. Like, I think it'll be great when it finally comes back. But the customer service of sitting on your freaking thumb and me having to call you to track down this information, like, for them to not email and get the ball rolling on that paperwork, for me to call them and be like, "Hey, it's been 5 months. What's the update?" "Oh, you need to fill out this paperwork." How long have you known that you needed to get me this paperwork so that we could get this process started?
Yeah.
They just threw it on the back burner and didn't care, and that's why I'm so bothered by this currently.
Yeah, it's
You know what I mean?
that's messed up.
It's shit. It's crappy. But that's why I didn't sell the John boat.
Never sell the John boat.
I'll never sell the John boat.
That boat's awesome. Motor starts every time. Knock on
Legend.
wood.
You know what? The trolling motor stopped working on Sunday.
Stopped working.
What's today's Tuesday? Yeah, Sunday it stopped working. We were out fishing, and we fished for a couple of hours, and we actually went back when we were fishing Shepherd's Cove. And I dropped the trolling motor in after running back to the spot, and hit the pedal. It didn't do anything. If I would crank it all the way up to 10, it would like slowly spin.
It's not like it might be the motor inside the motor.
This is the foot pedal.
Yeah.
So there's a remote.
And that should be an easy fix.
Yeah. There's a
Okay.
remote that comes with the Tarova. It was Scuba Steve's idea. And he was like, "It has a remote, right?" I was like, "Yeah." He's like, "Well, check it with the remote." So I checked it with the remote, and it worked perfect with the remote. So I know there's an issue with the foot pedal. And yeah, I am absolutely furious, Scott, and I wish I could freaking call Johnny Morris. The lady that I talked to is like apparently the head lady that deals with the processing of all the new boat orders and all of that crap. So, you know, we are on close to month 7 now, and my boat still doesn't have a date for process yet.
Yeah, it's really bad.
It's bad, man. When I called her on the phone the other week, I was like, "So you mean to tell me that you've had my boat for 7 months? 1 month ago, you told me you were giving me a new boat. I'm calling you 1 month later, and you're still telling me that you don't have a date for production on my boat." I was like, "You guys gonna start refunding me any of the money that I'm paying for this boat while you guys have it in your?" You know,
I don't understand. Like, what is it? Just sitting there collecting dust?
I don't know.
What is it doing?
I
Like,
guess
it
it's
can't-
just. I guess it's just sitting there collecting dust, and they're just
Like, they
waiting
gotta
to have
move it
enough
some-
time.
Like, it's not just gonna be sitting in the corner. Like, they have to be like, someone has to be like, whose boat is this? They had to check it out at some point.
I wish I knew, dude. I wish I knew. Like, yeah, the amount of answers that I wish I had is crazy,
Yeah, it's
and it's got me almost to the point where, like, if it's not like, dude, part of me wants to just get rid of it. When like that boat comes back, part of me wants to sell it so bad. It's just like
what would you do then?
buy an Express.
Why didn't you just buy an Express in the first place?
I didn't like the deck layout on the Express. So I couldn't afford an X19. An X19 was just like unaffordable. You're looking at like 62,000 for a new
That's
one.
absurd.
And then the H18 was 17 foot 10 with a 92-inch beam. Well, the 18.8 is a true 18.8 with like a 94-inch beam or a 96-inch beam. The Ranger's beam was bigger. The boat overall was a true 18-foot boat, where the H18 is not a true 18-foot boat. So I didn't like the fact that the Express, the H18, was actually 17 foot 10. I didn't like the rod locker. I did not like the storage compartments on the front deck. I didn't like, if I ordered the boat, I could have got a coin box, but I wanted a coin box in the middle. I just did not like the layout of the Express. I wanted the Hyperlift hull really bad. Really bad, but I did not like the
What's the Hyperlift hull?
Hyperlift hull is like, it's a different patented hull that Express has over the other aluminum companies. I don't know exactly what the difference is, but they have a very fast hull for the aluminum boats. They have the best aluminum hull on the market, in my personal opinion. After doing the research that I've done. But, I've been thinking about, if the Ranger came back, selling it.
I wouldn't sell it.
I probably will not.
Like, I feel like once it comes back, if it works fine, if you loved it,
I'll be happy once it comes back. But I'm just so disappointed in the process.
If you love it, or if you loved it when it did have problems, you're probably gonna really love it when it comes back and it works perfect. Hopefully,
it better work perfect.
If it doesn't, that's something.
Oh my god, dude!
I would drive up to the Ranger dealer.
Greg says, I feel bad for you. Sorry, I pushed you into that newer boat. Nah, man, I don't blame anybody. I don't blame anybody at all for this. I personally probably should have walked from the boat when I was up there, when I was looking at it, and when you look at a boat and it's only got 8 hours on the entire thing, you can't think there could be anything more wrong with it than like a clogged fuel filter or something like that. You know what I mean? There can't be anything wrong with this boat. It's got 8 hours on it. But in reality, the guy sold me a lemon. So I'm lucky that Ranger decided to do what they're doing. It just pissed me off that they're taking their good time doing it. I'll be $7,000 in payments in the hole before I ever see my boat again.
Yeah, that's pretty.
It's like, you know what I'm saying? Like, holy shit.
I want summer to come. I want to fish a Thursday nighter.
Dude, life is about learning. And I learned the hard way this time.
Yeah. Maybe it happened for a reason.
Yeah, it did happen for a reason. I'm getting a new one out of it.
There you go.
You know what I mean? Like, that's what my dad keeps telling me at the end of the day. He's like, hey, you're getting a new boat. You're getting a new boat. You're getting a new boat. I'm like, dude, I get it. I'm like, where is it?
Yeah. It's going to suck more, I feel like, when, like, it's time for fishing. Like, over the winter, you were probably like, it didn't really affect you that much.
Well, that was my deal. I was like, I feel like having this 4 to 5 months hiatus from fishing is, that's decent. It's decent.
Yeah.
And, that should be more. I felt that honestly, I gave him 6 months. I was like, I feel like 6 months is an adamant amount of time for this. Either for them to decide they're going to fix it or decide they're not going to fix it and replace it. I feel like 6 months was adamant amount of time. And it took them 5 months just to tell me that they weren't able to fix it.
Yeah, that's...
And we're 2 months into the process after they're telling me that, and they're just like, we don't know when we're going to build your new one yet. It's like, what are you doing?
Yeah, it's messed up. I'm still baffled by that.
There's not much else to really say, you know what I mean? And I've done enough smearing so far. I haven't really gone super, super public with the whole thing yet. I mean, on here, I have, the limited following that Bass and Beer Radio has talking about it. But they still have my boat. So kind of don't really want to go on the Ranger page and just be like, and just bash them completely because I have
Yeah.
no idea. You know, somebody will probably be like, "Oh, we'll hold his boat for 3 years."
Yeah. You'll never get your boat back.
You'll never get your boat back. What is this?
What's what?
I don't know, Bradley. I think you got your first date on here. One was totally broken when the love of my life left me. It was so hard for me, I almost gave up. If not for a friend who directed me to a very good and powerful man who helped me bring back the love of my life, and now he will treat me with so much love and care. I don't know what problems you are passing through, but what he did for me, I know he can help you. Do not hesitate to message. If I talk to this spiritual spellcaster, is he gonna magically warp my fucking Ranger back to my driveway? It's like, it's shit. Martin, are you on this, man? Like, are you? Did you shoot her a message to figure out what's going on here? He says massage who?
That's funny.
Some of the bots that we have come on here are hilarious.
Yeah,
Oh man,
that's great.
it is. How long have we been going on? Oh my gosh, dude, it's been an hour and 45 so far. But I think that's you got anything else that you want to talk about there, bub?
I don't think so.
Pretty covered. You think we're pretty caught up? You got
Yeah, I
anything-
want to
any-
fish. I want to
anything-
fish the Thursday nighters.
Fish
That's
the
what's on my
Thursday
mind right now.
Is there anything else you want to tell the viewers?
I don't. Are you saying that like you know something that I'm supposed to be saying?
No.
I don't think so.
All right, cool.
Yeah, I don't think so. Should be it.
All right, y'all. We're out of here for this episode of Tackle Talk Tuesday. Thanks to you guys for tuning in. Oh, before we go, really quick, big shout out to our sponsors, UMA Lures with UMA Lure Company. Is this gonna work? There it is. Big shout out to Tyler for making a really sick balsa wood crankbait. You the man. And then our boy Warren Taylor with Tailored Lures. Warren makes a beast of a frog. And he actually just recently released the new Poppin' Frog, which I'm pretty stoked about. I got to get my hands on a couple of the Poppin' Frogs. I really like the profile of Warren's frogs. Warren's frogs have this nice small profile, but they come with a really, really beefy hook and they cast well. And the Poppin' Frog, I think, is gonna just be it's candy.
Yeah.
It's bass candy. I know they're tailored a lot they're tailored a lot towards the snakeheads. The bass kill them too. So definitely check out Tailored Lures and Bass Munitions. Bass Munitions soft plastics. He's got wackies, drop shot worms, creature baits, Ned stuff. He's working on hooks and jigs and everything in between. Bass Munitions Lures, Mr. Larry Payne, has actually been taking care of us from day one, and we really appreciate him for that. So thank you, Mr. Larry Payne. And that wraps it up for us, everybody. We are going to catch you guys on Friday night for some Friday night shenanigans. Peace.
So yeah.